The Georgia Republican Party State Executive Committee has voted to expel and kind of quasi-banish a former GOP lieutenant governor. This is Geoff Duncan. They're saying you're not associated with our party anymore. And they say the reason is that he has undermined Republican candidates. And so they apparently let him know about this punishment via an email earlier this week. So they did a few things. They formally expelled him from the party, which I didn't know was a thing, but I guess it is. They demanded he cease referring to himself as a Republican and banned him from attending any state GOP events. They banned him from referring to himself as a Republican, like in private, in the confines of his own head. How can you control that? But anyway, he also, and this is by far my favorite part, is, quote, banned from all property owned or leased by the Georgia Republican Party and all events held by or under the authority of the Georgia Republican Party. So he is literally banished from some parts of Georgia. He can't go there. Even events that the public can go to, he specifically and uniquely can no longer go. And the party's executive director, Justin Rice, wrote this because every Republican just wants to be a tough guy. Finished up the email saying, "Be governed accordingly," which is not the cool action movie catchphrase you might think it is, Justin Rice. So that's the restrictions on him. They also urged media outlets to refer to Duncan as an expelled Republican. And let me just respond to that respectfully is go F yourself. I'm not going to do that. Also, I don't care. I don't care about him and I don't care about you. In fact, I'm going to call him a Republican in good standing just on the off chance it might anger you guys. But that said, Geoff Duncan responded to this saying, hard to believe this is a good use of time for a party that's only got a limited amount of time to figure out mass deportations, world peace, and global tariffs. Learn how to take a victory lap, not light another dumpster fire. So I don't know if there's like an element of sarcasm there. I'll take it that he's being honest, that he actually wants them to work on those things, which is a reminder to you that just because the Georgia State Republican Party doesn't like him, doesn't mean he's great. So anyway, this is some local news for you, Sharon. What do you make of them ejecting him in this way?
Well, I didn't think they'd go this far, and it's quite laughable. I mean, you got to think about it. Brad Raffensperger, he taped the call or had someone do it and all this stuff and caused all this trouble for them. Said the election stands, there was no fraud, and not even he is banned from the property. He's allowed to call himself a Republican. But I talked to that one Republican friend I have who's pretty well-placed and operative. And we had an argument a couple months ago where I said, look, Geoff Duncan, I know he's working for Harris. He's been doing this stuff. He'll be back once this MAGA nonsense ceases. And, he's setting himself up to be this bipartisan guy. And he just said he'll never be allowed back. He's done. The good old boys down here in Georgia will never take him back. But this is incredible. It's like if they see him in a restaurant, they'll turn their backs, won't acknowledge him. Maybe you're not even allowed to associate with him. I didn't hear. Did you read that? Are other Republicans allowed to associate with him off the property?
He's not allowed to wear a T-shirt with a cartoon elephant on it. Like, how petty can this go? By the way, he could presumably run as a third-party candidate. Like when Joe Lieberman was effectively, well, he lost the primary in Connecticut back when I was younger. He just ran independently and still won. But anyway, look, I will say, and to end this, I understand why they're frustrated with him. He didn't support Trump this last time around. He supported Biden and Harris because he's anti-MAGA or whatever, even though he seems to support all the policies, but like he doesn't like Trump, whatever. And so I get that. I get that frustration. But I will also say, like, you're mad that he didn't support Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker was a terrible candidate. He should never have been nominated. It was wise of Geoff Duncan to oppose him. You guys should have listened to him, and you would have had that Senate seat already. But I will also say, while I think all of this is ridiculous and petty, I do think, like, there should be some bar that can get you to be in some fashion taken out of a party. Like, we on our side have had some people with the D next to their name where it really feels like they shouldn't be allowed to use that. I'm not saying what I think the bar should be, but like I feel like Sinema earned herself a little bit of banishment, and not
West
just
Virginia
recently.
guy too.
Yeah, Joe Manchin as well. Fetterman is kind of towing the line a bit. But anyway, we don't have power. It's not going to happen. Don't worry, Fetterman. You're not going to be banned from parties.
They can't even get him to put on a tie. So no.
100%. Yeah, who's going to control him?